Hi everyone, I'm Steven and I'm very excited to speak to you today. I brought a story about the future of customer experience in uncertain times. I think if we look back to March 2020, we can all agree that this was probably the biggest digital training course the world has ever seen. I mean, we're all experts now in having virtual drinks with our friends. We know the benefits of working from home and the joy that we feel from that. We also understand the downsides of it. But the truth is, digital meetings, working from home has become a new normal, and you see how some companies, they have some benefits from this evolution, like Zoom is exploding. Before this crisis, they had 10 million daily users. Now they have about 200 million daily users, and you even see how they're suffering with that growth. They have privacy issues and so on. But the truth is, this was the biggest digital training course ever. We need to turn to digital for everything, for our entertainment. You see how Netflix is growing like crazy. You even see how YouTube and Netflix had to lower their streaming quality because otherwise we wouldn't be able to handle it. We're going to digital for communication. People are using WhatsApp 40% more than ever. It's a miracle, if you ask me, that Facebook is still up and running. But also for commerce. I mean, if something breaks down in your house now, you need to go to a web shop to buy that product. And already in the first week of the crisis, you could see that Amazon said that they need to hire more than 100,000 employees to keep up with demand. A company like Instacart, which is like an online grocery and delivery platform in the US, they had to hire 300,000 people to keep up with their demand. So you feel how digital has become our lifeline today. And because of that, if you look at the consequences for customer experience, digital quality, good qualitative digital interfaces have become the new minimum. This is what we expect from organizations. And in every sector all over the world, you see the same evolution, that the effort that consumers have to do to interact with organizations is lowering and is ending up close to zero. Now, this is not just something that is happening with the big technology companies. I see this with many incumbents as well. And McDonald's is a great example of that. I mean, we've all witnessed the transformation that McDonald's has gone through with the kiosks that they had and the whole transformation of their restaurants. But now they're going to move into a new phase. And their secret weapon is their app. The McDonald's app is one of the most successful corporate apps in the world. They've been using it for years now. And because of that, they can actually understand what people like. They know what people's taste is and what people don't like. And now they're going to use that in their daily practice. Like about a year ago, McDonald's acquired a company called Dynamic Yield. This is an AI and machine learning company that will allow them to personalize the menus of the drive-thru. Today, if you go to a drive-thru of McDonald's, the menu is the same for all of us. In the next phase, they want to personalize that, which means that if they know, thanks to the app, that you are a vegetarian, you're only going to see the vegetarian options in that menu, which will make you feel welcome as a customer, and probably, this is the win for McDonald's, probably you will order more as well. So there's this really cool evolution in digital interfaces, and if you ask me what a successful interface of the future looks like, well, it's going to be invisible, it's going to be personalized, it's going to be zero effort for the user, and it's going to be proactive. We're moving into a world of almost transactional perfection and zero tolerance if it's not like that. And the funny thing is, because of that evolution, digital interfaces are becoming a commodity. It won't be able to differentiate anymore with a good working interface. If you have it, good. If you don't have it, you will lose. We're moving into a world where people expect more than just convenience. Look at consumer behavior. I mean, many of us have dreams and challenges. We have bucket lists. We're into extreme ambitions that we have. But we also have dreams that collapsed because of the corona crisis. And you have people that suffer, people that have to, do an effort to move from paycheck to paycheck. And the bad news is this group will probably increase in the next few months. But this helps me to look differently to organizations. Maybe Ryanair is not just a low-cost airline. Maybe Ryanair helps people with a lower income to do this fantastic once-a-year city trip with their family that wouldn't be possible without Ryanair. So, as organizations, we have spent a lot of time in formulating our own purpose, which is cool. But I think in the next phase, we need to figure out how can we facilitate the purpose of the customer? How can we make sure that people achieve their dreams and ambitions, and how we can remove their fears? And I think this is a point where we're going to make a flip from just focusing on a customer journey, where you focus on your own process, making a flip from a customer journey to a life journey, where you're not wondering about what is wrong in your process, but you're trying to understand what is wrong in the life of customers, and you're trying to help there to make them succeed in their dreams and remove their fears. So you already see how big companies are changing their mission statement. Like take Google, for instance. We all know the old mission statement of Google. We are trying to organize the information in the world. This has changed now into, we want to make people's day-to-day life as easy as possible. And you feel how organizations are making that flip from gadget thinking to, full customer solutions, and understanding the issues that people have in their day-to-day life, understanding the human behavior behind the customer. And I'm, for instance, charmed by this example here from Procter & Gamble, from Pampers. They were wondering, what are all the issues that people have when they have a newborn in their house? And it's easy to list that. They hope that the baby will sleep well, that it still breathes, that it eats enough, and that it uses the toilet enough. And it would have been very easy for Pampers to just make a smart, intelligent diaper, which they did, but they went further than that. They tried to solve all those issues. So they made a smart mattress, a smart camera. They monitor everything that is happening with the newborn. They're putting that into a nice overview in one single app that people can look into. And because of that, parents are more relieved. They don't have to worry that much. And of course, what they're also doing is setting up a subscription model with the end user that they can buy diapers directly from Procter & Gamble. So Procter & Gamble doesn't need the retailer anymore. Procter & Gamble is collecting a huge amount of information about the day-to-day life, which helps them to move into maybe even new services in a later stage of the life of those parents. But you feel how they're moving into this new phase where they're trying to solve all the issues that people have in their day-to-day life. We're moving into a world where people expect more than convenience. That's one dimension. A second dimension are the worries that people have about the planet. I think we're going to see this flip in marketing. And in the past 10 years, the buzzword for marketing was authenticity. We wanted to have authentic brands. I think that will change into responsibility. We want to have companies that make the right choices, because the world is facing some issues. We had the coronavirus that caught us by surprise, but already here you see the tension between the healthcare issues versus the economical issues. We're facing really important challenges. And there are more of them. That's not just healthcare, it's also the environment. The climate issue is not gone because we have Corona now. And the question is, how will companies deal with that? And I think organizations will have to focus on that more. And there's a big opportunity here. Like, I'm very optimistic about the trade-offs in the world. If you look to the world today, I think many of us have still trade-offs. We have to choose every single day. We have to choose between privacy and convenience. We have to choose between buying cheap products versus products that were created in an ethical way with good standards. We have the trade-off between doing well for the planet versus doing the things that I really like. I think in the next phase of customer experience, it will be important as an organization to remove those barriers. Let's take one example. The trade-off between doing well for the world versus doing well for myself. Like me, personally, I like meat. I like to eat a good piece of meat. But I know that it's bad for climate, and I know that it's bad for my personal health. How do we solve that? Well, I'm really thrilled by companies like Impossible Foods, which are companies that make plant-based meat. They create the meat sensation for meat lovers, so they're not targeting vegetarians. They're targeting people like me that like meat. But they create the healthy and good for climate version of that. And these companies are in their very early stage, but now you feel how they're getting traction and how they're growing. Like Impossible Burgers is now working together with Burger King, for instance, which allows them to grow rapidly. You can also find Impossible Burgers now in US supermarkets. So you feel how these companies are moving into a next phase. And I know it's still early days, but add 3 years to that, add 5 years to that, add 10 years to that, and who knows what the world will look like. But that evolution is removing the trade-offs from the world. We're moving into a world where customers have new expectations that go beyond convenience. I'm convinced if we will look back 10 years from now to successful companies, I'm sure that we're going to see companies that were focusing on creating new customer experiences by using new technologies like AI, 5G, and robotics companies that are focusing on the personal dreams and hopes that people have, and companies that make responsible choices for the planet. That combination will create the future of customer experience, making that flip from customer journeys to life journeys, making that flip from authenticity to responsibility. And if you combine that with strong digital interfaces, you can create an offer customers can't refuse. And that's my vision on the future. Combine those assets, create the offer people can't refuse. This could be the future of customer experience.